So, hi there everybody, it's great to be with you all, lovely to see you all. So, Happy New Year's Eve. The next stream will be on Thursday, which is the 26th of December, which in English they call Boxing Day, because you're supposed to look at the boxes of presents and write thank you letters to everyone who sent you presents. So, let's see. Hi to Jack, hi to Julia, hi to Manisco, hi there to Patricia, and hi there to Yuri as well. Okay, so we were doing this article about nuclear power and how nuclear power is making a comeback. So, choose the right word to fit in the gap. It is not an lonely, alone, isolated, single case. Merry Noel, Victor. So we've had single from Yuri and single from Julia. Lonely from Jack. Let's see what Patricia and Manisco are going to say. This is a good one. So, a lonely case, an alone case, an isolated case, or a single case. Good to hear you're well, P. Good to see you're on form. So this one's an interesting one. I need some more answers for this. Manisco says single and Patricia says isolated. Okay, let's see. A single case. It's not a single case. No, it's not. It's not a flash in the pan. It's not an isolated case. And that, hi there to Oksana. Yeah, it's not an isolated case. So, a lonely case would be one that it's alone and lost. Alone normally it's not a case alone. A single case. It's not a single case, no. It's not an isolated case. If it's not a single case, it has other cases with it that are similar, but a single legal case, for example. No, an isolated case. It's not a single case. No, it's an isolated case. Yeah, cas isolé, absolutely. It's not an isolated case. Okay. It's not an not an isolated case. It's not single. It's isolated, Yuri. It's not an only case. Well, not the only case. It's not an isolated case. So, the US's newest reactors at Plant Vogtle in Georgia opened 7 years late and cost more than $35 billion, well over double their original bid budget allowance finance. So yes, Yuri, you're not the only case of somebody who needs to improve their English. Hi Iwan, lovely to see you. So budget for Yuri, budget for Julia. Budget for Manisco. Allowance over their original allowance. Normally, Jack, an allowance is money which you give to a child. So pocket money is an allowance. Is money or the amount that you're allowed to spend of their original allowance. No, normally an allowance is the money you give to a child. I guess you could have a permitted amount of money, but it's much smaller. over their original. Okay, I understand now. Bid or budget. In this case, it's budget. You're not an isolated case, no, Yuri. A bid is when somebody says we will do it for this, but normally a bid is closed. It's going to be the budget. Yeah, a bid is where you offer to do a contract at a certain price, but it costs more than the original budget, because I think, yeah, a bid for power, but you bid for a contract. Bid is gambling. No, bid is an auction. An auction where you make an offer. Yeah, you bid 20 and he bids 25. But normally a bid is in a you bid for a contract. But normally it's a closed contract. So I'm going to go for budget, definitely. SMRs are designed to solve this problem. Whoops. They will be smaller than traditional reactors, using normal, regulated, standardised, calibrated parts that can be assembled quickly at sites close to where the power is needed. That's a video series in the 90s. Thank you, Ronan. Better than the than accept that bid. That's good. So Oksana says standardised. Hi, Renyard. Happy Christmas to you. Well, the season's greetings, Renyard, to those who celebrate, and the best of the season to those who don't. So they will be smaller than traditional reactors, using normal, regulated, standardised, calibrated parts. So Julia says standardised, and Manisco says standardised. Renyard says standardised. Hi, Nectar, great to have you. And regulated parts. Regulated, they are talking about rules about it, but if they are standardized, they are all standard. You make one piece 50 times. These are pieces that that are produced as a standard. Calibrated is measured. So if something is standardized, then all the pieces are made the same. And one of the problems with the nuclear reactors is normally all the pieces are not made the same. Hi, Nina. Standardized, absolutely perfect. So standardized parts. But while there are some 80 different designs, that's not very standardized, under development globally, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, the concept has yet to be proven, shown, assured, settled commercially. The concept has yet to be... Oksana says settled. Nina says proven. Julia goes for proven. Yuri goes for proven. Okay, notice, Oksana, you settle an argument. Shown, says Manisco. Proven is a pretty common collocation, yes, Renyard. Proven for Nectar. Leffy, lovely to see you. Proven for Leffy. Settled. Let's see, I'm settled in this position. If something is settled, it's comfortable. It's not moving. Has to be shown commercially. No, this is proven from the verb prove. Proven for Lionheart. Welcome. Assure is to guarantee, so it has to be proven. It has to be proved, yeah? It's about those reactors again, yes. I am settled with my English. Maybe you're settled with your mistakes. Settle a problem, yes, Nectar. To settle a problem, to assure is to guarantee. I suppose it could be shown commercially, and it could be assured commercially as well, or even settled, but I think proven is the best. Yeah, to prove that it can work commercially. To the next level. Proven, definitely. It's a proven concept. Opinions about nuclear power remain highly contrary, polarized, conflicting, contradictory, incongruous. Highly contrary, polarized, conflicting, contradictory, incongruous. So Nina's thinking about contradictory, but maybe polarized. Polarized, says Oksana. Polarized, says Renyard. Polarized, says Yuri. Polarized, says Jack. Polarized, says Manisco. Polarized, says Julia as well. Okay, so let's see. Contradictory is one says no and one says yes. So if you have two contradictory answers, the answers contradict each other. Or maybe two people, they're giving excuses, and their excuses contradict each other. American society has been polarized since the last presidency of Trump. Polarized. To polarize, so a magnetic pole, the North Pole, and if something is polarized, it's stretched apart, so there is less in the middle. There are more differences. It's either right or left. Hey, your mistakes in English are contradictory with the C2 you want to get. So normally polarized are where there is a big difference in the extreme. And Renyard's saying with the presidency, America is becoming more polarized. It's more either far right or far left, and there is no center. Polarization is talking about arguments getting stronger and stronger. So a polarized opinions. One group of people are strongly in favour of it, and one group are strongly against it. And the ones in favour of it are becoming more strongly in favour, and the ones against are becoming more strongly against. So it's a more conflictive situation. Supporters claim the technology is indispensable, demanded, inherent requirement if climate targets are to be reached. Among them is Rod Adams, whose Nucleation Capital Fund promotes investments in nuclear technology. So we've had indispensable for Nina, indispensable for Oksana, indispensable for Renyard. It needs to be a requirement, Oksana. Is indispensable, is a requirement if climate targets are to be reached. Indispensable. It's a requirement's okay inside the bracket, Oksana. Indispensable for Julia. Indispensable for Nectar. Indispensable, something you cannot do without. So, for example, for me to give a live stream, a connection is indispensable. It's something I can't dispense with, something I can't get rid of. To dispense with something, not to sack it, to get rid of it. Indispensable from Patricia. And yeah, for you to be able to listen to the live stream, you need something connected to the internet. That is indispensable. It's a requirement. Paramount definitely works. No, Yuri. Mistakes in your English are dispensable. There's something that you can get rid of. Visiting live streams is an indispensable habit in the recent years. So indispensable is something that you can't get rid of. Notice if it's requirement, it would be a requirement. It's something. So if something is indispensable, you can't do without it. You can't not have it. You must have it. The technology is indispensable, is a must if climate targets are to be reached. Okay, so and nuclear fission has a 7-decade background report history saga showing it is one of the safest power sources available, he explains. History, says Oksana. If something is indispensable, you can't live without it. So oxygen is indispensable for life. Something that is unavoidable is something that you meet with and you can't avoid. So in life, problems are unavoidable, but they're not indispensable. You could dispense with problems very happily. You'd be very happy. So something that's unavoidable is something that you can't avoid. Indispensable is something that you can't not have. So I don't know, a mobile phone is indispensable in the world that we live in. History for Lionheart, history for Julia, history for Nina, history for Nectar and Reynard. Inevitable, unavoidable. Yes, inevitable, unavoidable. Indispensable, must have. Background, says Manisco. Inevitable, says Nectar. Learning a word a day is indispensable. Yes, if you're going to have good English. Yes, Yuri. History, backdrop. Backdrop is more the scene around it. It's definitely history is the right answer. A saga is a long story, a very long story about something, particularly a Viking mythological story. A background, I guess background would work, but it's not very good. The background to this, a report, no, it's the history. History, definitely. It's a durable, reliable source of power with low, in progress, ongoing, progressing, underway costs, but capital costs have been too high in Western countries. A TV saga, very definitely. A mobile is indispensable in our quotidian routine. Yes. It's something you can't not have. Indispensable. So Nina says underway. with low in-progress costs, ongoing costs, progressing costs, underway costs. Ongoing, says Oksana. Ongoing, says Julia. Ongoing, says Renyard. So in progress with low costs, while but this is something that is running in progress. No, definitely not ongoing costs for Patricia. I would say running costs, progressing. But progressing is talking about change, and there's no change. This thing is running with low costs once the project is underway, or once power production is underway. Once power production is underway. The live stream is in progress. It's also ongoing. Nectar says underway. We don't say, we say ongoing costs, because these are the costs that to keep it running. Underway means happening, progressing. So the stream got underway at 11 o'clock. Okay, underway, so way is moving. The ship is underway. It's moving out from the harbour. The project is underway, is happening. Whereas ongoing is from one to the next to the next. It's something that is ongoing. It's not stopped. Underway is an adverb. The project is underway. Spending underway. I think it's an adjective, but I think it's a post-positive adjective. I don't think it's an adverb. To get underway, yes, it could be. So, to get underway. I think it's either an adverb or a post-positive adjective. It's happening, underway, yes. It's ongoing, an ongoing process. So, continue. Rivals, competitors, opponents, opposition, though, insist nuclear power is not the answer. Rivals, competitors, opponents. Okay, so post-positive. The boy is asleep. A boy asleep is a lovely sight, but not an asleep boy. It means it's got to go after the noun or with the verb to be. Yeah, and that is post-positive. Okay, it's an interesting one. Awake, asleep, aloft. They're normally words beginning with a ... Asleep, awake, etc. So let's see. Sorry, opponents for Yuri, opponents for Oksana, opponents for Manisco. Opposition, says Vandana. Hi Vandana. The opposition. It's got to be a person. Opposition, no. Opponents. Opponents for Julia. There's a project underway, not an underway project. Yes, that's it. That's it, Nina. Okay, opponents for Jack, opponents for Nina, opponents for Vandana, opponents for Patricia, opponents for Nectar, opponents for Lionheart, and opponents for Renyard, very definitely. Opponents insist nuclear power is not the answer. According to Professor M.V. Ramana, underway, all systems go. Yes, that would work, Yuri. According to Professor M.V. Ramana at the University of British Columbia, it is an insanity, lunacy, recklessness, folly to consider nuclear energy as clean. An infant asleep on its mother's shoulder is a lovely... Yes, that's it. That's a better example, Patricia. Thank you. Ooh, this one's I love this one. So Nina says a recklessness. Can we say theoretically, however, it's a tautology. The ongoing project is underway. Yes, you could. The ongoing project is underway. Yes, it's tautology, but the grammar is fine. Oksana says an insanity. Alexander says an insanity. Adversaries. Yes. So, adversaries say. Merry Christmas, Guillaume Vanin. An insanity. A recklessness. Guillaume says a folly. This is really, really interesting. Zero article is better before recklessness. Absolutely. Absolutely. The question, Nina, is which of these words takes the indefinite article most readily? It's possible folly. Nina's gone for a folly as well. Good. Let's see. You could say an insanity, but normally we say it's insanity to consider. It's lunacy to consider. It's recklessness to consider. Now you could say it's folly to consider, but it's a folly as well. And the answer is folly. It's a folly. I wouldn't normally say it's an insanity, and I wouldn't normally say it's a lunacy. It's a folly. Yes, Patricia. Okay. Very often, an article with folly is quite common. It's a folly to do this. Yeah, but I wouldn't use a or an with normally with insanity or lunacy. That's translation for me. Okay. It's a folly. Yes, Guillaume. C'est de la folie. That's one of its meanings, Oksana. But folly is mad. Folle in French. It means mad. It's a madness. It's a craziness. A folly can be a strange building in a garden because it's mad to build it. But a folly is a crazy act. He says one of the most expensive ways to he says one of the most expensive ways to generate electricity. Investing in cheaper low carbon sources, origins, routes, providers of energy will provide more emission reductions per dollar. So sources, hi there Hadi, lovely to see you. sources for Yuri, sources for Oksana, sources for Nectar, sources for Julia, sources for Renyard. For my great folly I paid with insanity. Okay, so definitely low carbon sources of energy, sources where it comes from. Sources for Jack, sources for Lionheart, and here we go. Sources for Darshana as well. Lovely to have you, Darshana. If current trends do herald, announce, proclaim, trumpet a new nuclear age, one old problem remains. Thank God for follies. Yes, definitely. Slipknot, lovely to see you. So Renyard says herald. Okay, so herald a new nuclear age, announce a new nuclear age, proclaim a new nuclear age, trumpet a new nuclear age. Herald. Okay, Hadi says herald, Manisco says herald, Alexander says proclaim, Yuri says proclaim. Okay, let's see. A herald. A herald's a person who plays a trumpet to say that the king or somebody important is going to appear. Sources or providers, that's good, Patricia. Hi, Mandy Khan, trumpet, says Mandy Khan. Prakish says to herald. Julia says proclaim. Oksana says proclaim. Patricia says herald. So a herald proclaims that something's coming. If current trends do herald, it's to herald. So, for example, whoops. To herald, graced the grey clouds in the sky, herald the coming of a rainstorm. To proclaim is to tell something, to make a public proclamation. But to herald is a sign, is to make a sign that a sign that something is coming. There's a new nuclear age, a new the or a herald, predict. Yes, Oksana. So Mandy can A, one of several. The one that's coming, the one that we know is coming. And I would say it's probably the new nuclear age, because I'm pretty sure it's coming. High inflation. Herald, say that looming. Yes, Yuri. The fact that he has not studied for his exam heralds his failure. Okay, it's the sound of barking dogs heralds the arrival of an earthquake. Foretell, yes, foretell is a very good one. Herald, foretell. I like foretell. So one thing heralds another. Okay. After 70 years of atomic power, there is still disagreement over what to do with the accumulated radioactive waste, some of which will remain critical, hazardous, risky, insecure for hundreds of thousands of years. So hazardous for Nina, hazardous for Oksana. Yeah, Hark the Herald Angels Sing is quite a good one. Hazardous for Alexander. Hazardous for Slipknot. Risky for Guillaume. So risky. Risky is talking about something that you do. Hazardous for Renyard. Hazardous for Mandican. Dangerous, yes. Hazardous for Julia. Insecure for Manisco. Hazard, says Slipknot. So the way it's kept is risky. A risky activity. Risky is talking about not the thing in itself, but what you do with it. Insecure is talking about saying that the security over it is not good. So the waste, if the waste is insecure, it means that there is nobody guarding it. Yeah, the way that it is looked after is risky. Live dangerously. That's it, Yuri. Whereas hazardous. Let's keep going. The answer, hazardous. Yes, Patricia. That's it. AD says hazardous. Okay, the answer being pursued, chased, hunted, preceded by many governments is geological disposal, burying the waste in sealed tunnels deep underground. Ciao, Nina. Lovely to see you. Take care, Nina. Pursued, says Nina. The answer being pursued, chased, hunted, preceded by many governments is geological disposal, burying the waste in sealed tunnels deep underground. Pursued, says Guillaume. Pursued, says Lionheart. Pursued, says Renyard. Pursued, says Julia. Pursued, but says Oksana and Mandican. Pursued, says Hadi. So the answer being, it's got to be pursued. Chased, you physically chase something, you're trying to catch it. Pursued for nectar. Hunted, you hunt an animal. Preceded, no, it's pursued. It's definitely pursued. Hazardous to the previous one. Yeah, yes, Adby. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I think this is enough for today. Pursued by Patricia. So next stream is on Thursday, 26th December at 3:30 p.m. UK time. So thank you all for coming. It's been in hot pursuit. It's been great having you. And a cup of tea is indispensable now. So thank you all for coming. It's been great having you. Don't forget to watch this year's Christmas Carol. Where's the link gone? I'll give you a link to it. And I will see you all on Thursday. So happy Christmas to all of you. And take care, all of you, and have fun. So yeah, here's the one to the carol. Thank you all very much. It's been great to see you. So let's see. Whoops, making a mess of it all. Participants, that's it. Thank you to Adby, thank you to Alexander, thank you to Lionheart, thank you to Guillaume, thank you to Hadi, thank you to Jack, thank you to Julia, thank you to Mandican, thank you to Manisco and Nectar, thank you to Nina and Oksana and Patricia, thank you to Prakish, thank you to Renyard, thank you to Slipknot, and thank you to Yuri. It's been wonderful having you all. So take care of yourselves, and I will see you all on Thursday. So Merry Christmas to everyone who's celebrating. Take care, and bye for now. that goes.